The subject is dog imagery in Himalayan art. Now, dog imagery we find in a number of different places, and really the subject needs to be divided into really three categories: deity related, teacher related, and miscellaneous and decorative. So first of all, we find dog imagery especially with the deity Mahakala. Now, we do have, as we know, there's many different types of Mahakala, but what we have is different classifications of Mahakala, different categories. We have the Panjanata, the Chaturbuja, Chaturmukha, Shadbuja, the one-faced, four-armed, four-faced, four-armed, one-faced, six-armed, and then we also have the Raudrantaka classification. So within the Raudrantaka, we actually have a particular Mahakala who's dog-faced. He himself has a dog face, and all of his retinue figures have the face of a dog or the head of a dog. We also have within the context of Mahakala, we have many dogs painted in compositions, and these represent messengers. They represent the minions of Mahakala that go out and conduct various activities or are spies for Mahakala. They're the minions. They're really the outer of the outermost retinue of the mandalas of Mahakala. Now, we also have a form of Hayagriva, where the four retinue figures all have a dog face, and this actually comes from India, this Hayagriva form. Then we have some retinue figures within the mandala of Chakrasamvara. So what this tells us is that it's possible to find other dog-faced figures in the retinues of different forms of the many different types of Chakrasamvara. We also have with the protector deity Tsiu Marpo or Tsiu Mara. This Tsiu Marpo is a Tibetan worldly deity. Really, he becomes prominent in the 16th century and then especially in the 17th century originally with the Nyingma, with Ngari Pension, but then popular with Sakya and popular with the Gelugpa as well. So Tsiu Marpo has a retinue of what's called the brothers. He has certain brothers which manifest in his retinue, but he also has different animals, but the foremost being a red dog. And so in painted compositions, it's very common to find this red dog, and sometimes this is a way to differentiate between Tsiu Marpo and Dorje Satrap in paintings when it's hard to distinguish or ascertain the identity of the figure, since both look very similar in appearance. Now, in terms of teachers, we have in the narrative of Asanga, the famous Asanga of the Yogacara, we have a very, very popular dog narrative, which has to do with his first encounter with the Bodhisattva Maitreya. But then with the mahasiddhas, we have Kukkuripa and Charbaripa. Both are associated with a dog and depicted in art as in the company of a dog. We also have the narratives of Milarepa and the famous story of Milarepa and the hunter has a dog who's chasing a deer, and then both the deer and the dog come to sit next to Milarepa for protection against the hunter. We also have Drukpa Kunlek, famous, I believe, 16th century Drukpa Kagyu teacher, one of the sort of categorized mad yogis, Drukpa Kunlek. Anyway, he is often accompanied by a dog. We then have miscellaneous and decorative. We have within astrology, we have the year of the dog. So we have dog imagery within astrological paintings. We also have images of dog within the Svarodaya. Svarodaya is actually a Shaiva practice, magic practice, coming from Shiva and Parvati, but it was incorporated into Buddhism, into Tibetan Buddhism, Himalayan Buddhism, to a greater or lesser extent. Some teachers would say that it's okay to practice. Other teachers would say no, this is really Hindu Shaiva practice. But within that, we have dog imagery as well. We do have initiation cards where dogs are represented as messengers. Then we can have these small painted compositions of initiation cards that appear in sets and are used during ritual practices. And then we have kanze paintings, the wrathful offering paintings, where you have the objects or the attributes of a protector are depicted, along with possibly a sacrificial food offering, a torma, and then many animals that are associated with that protector. And often you'll have just any kind of animals, camels, yaks, dogs, tigers, just all kinds of animals, black in color and depicted. Now, one thing to note within Tibetan art, it's very common to have a very bright, large red collar around the neck of a dog. This is often repeated in art as well. So this is just a little introduction into some of the places where dogs are represented in iconography, decoration, and related to historical people's narratives.